All right. Hello, hello. Let's get this stream started. All right. Get myself nicely framed up here. Right. So, I might need to close that window if there's any noise coming from outside. Let's see if I hear anything. Not really. Okay. Right. So, it has been a while indeed. And let me just take these. A while. It has been a month. But hey, as prefaced last month, I was on holiday, on vacation, and yeah, back fully re-energized and ready to kind of, well, get back to work, as it were. So in that regard, the month itself has been fairly quiet. There hasn't been all that much that has been happening, but let's see, what could I start with? I'm fairly certain that this hasn't progressed in the last month. So the neck for the gore over production base, that's pretty much at the same level as it was before. However, I can't remember, I think this was done in July. My just time and everything is something I don't remember, but let's have a look at this a bit closely. So this is now the rough body of the production gore over base going to Janne from Bloodblind. So 2-piece alder body and with a Carillion birch veneer top with an arm chamfer, a little extra comfort, extra playing comfort. So I'm gonna be getting right back on track with this, as well as a multiply veneer backplate. It's a bit bendy, but I needed a big enough, because the control cavities for the bases, they're a bit bigger, so I needed something that was a little bit bigger in size than my usual cavity. Didn't have a big enough piece of Carillion birch, so I have 3 pieces of Carillion birch veneer. There's 2 there, the top one, which is grain going that way, so horizontally, then a piece of beech veneer going vertically, then another piece of Carillion birch horizontally, beech again, and then Carillion birch again. So that's the backplate for it. I don't believe that has made any more progress. I am slowly getting back into it. I know I showed this off last time. I don't recall whether the binding on it was at this stage. If it was, then I'm showing it again. Let's see. And with this, I'm looking to do those joints up pretty nice. Let's see if I can get that to focus. Somewhat, maybe. So that's still going to be getting some ebony binding on both sides, but before I do that, I need to cut the fret slots through the Pubinga and maple binding that it already has. That's coming up. And other than that, yeah, not much else. I've just been kind of cleaning shop, organizing things, making things a little, you know, a lot less chaotic than what it was at the end of June there. Let's see. Yeah. I'm just only, like in the past few days, I've really, or let's say last week, I started getting a lot of stuff done. So there's a lot of videos that I've been editing together, a lot of very long overdue videos. I put out 3 in the past week. So there were the just the tones videos. So they're essentially just going through the different tones of each guitar. I don't have any sort of backing track demo type thing. It's just tone videos of the first 3 production prototypes that I did. So the Bubinga Icarus, that one, the River Daedalus, so that one, and then the Denim Icarus, which is currently in the States. So did those up, got those released, but I have also, today after work, I finished up the tone wood experiment video that I kind of had this bigger idea of back in 2021, but I never got around to actually editing it. Likewise with actually all the footage of me building the 4 production guitars, which were started in 2019 and finished in 2021. So hundreds of gigabytes of footage just for this one project that it always felt like a sort of completely insurmountable task. But I finally decided that it's like, I'm gonna knuckle down and start working on this. And from the sort of feedback that I got from the only guitar building, no talking, no music type thing, I edited the video together in that sort of format. I am probably gonna add backing music, background music and stuff like that to it, to make it a little more interesting, have overlays and stuff like that too. But all in all, it's about maybe like an hour and a half worth of footage of me constructing these 4 initial first production instruments. or prototypes of the first production instruments for IP. We need to close this. Football field and playground right outside means lots of noise. So yeah, that video is coming together. It's been cut already. Now all it really needs is any sort of background music that's going to come up and fine tuning, and then it's going to be coming out. So I'm really looking forward to that. Need to film an intro and an outro for the tone wood test video. I haven't had a proper listen to the different tones that I've gotten out of the instruments, but I'm excited to kind of show what is up with that. I could possibly show you a little sneak peek of that. Let me just grab the project here. But yeah, that's majority of what's been happening in the last few weeks, let alone in the past month. It's just been trying to kind of wind down because, well, May and June were extremely hectic and a lot of stuff was worked on. So here we go. So this is kind of what I've been working with. Just guitars, but here. Going through the tones of each video. Clean tones, and then gain tones, and kind of going through, oh, played the wrong thing, but going through each guitar and each pickup combination, and then clean tones and high gain tones, and seeing if there's a difference. I'm gonna, probably now that I have it edited in this format, I'm gonna put on headphones and then film a sort of reaction if there's any sort of revelations I make. But essentially, if you don't know, I can explain a little bit what this is. So, as mentioned already beforehand, back in 2021, I built 4 guitars. So I built 2 Daedaluses, Daedalus, 2 Icaruses, Icari, however you want to, you know, pluralize those. Oh God, my mic pack fell off. Give me a sec. What mic receiver? There. So yeah, built four instruments as the first sort of prototype product line. The idea with these was that they're all using similar woods, but kind of interchangeably. So the 2 Daedaluses, there was one with an ash body, so this one, and one with an alder body. Then the alder body one had a Carillion birch veneer top. One of the Icaruses had a Carillion birch top, veneer top, and an ash body like this Daedalus. But this Daedalus with the ash body has a birch like cap. And then this one, this Icarus, has a Bubinga cap, but an alder body. And they all have 3-piece walnut necks, all cut from the exact same plank of walnut, and they all have ebony fretboards, all cut from the exact same piece of ebony. So they've been cured, dried, and worked on in exactly the same conditions, in exactly the same stages, and even when I did the demo for them, I used the same hardware. So it wasn't just like, yeah, I have the same hardware here and there, because there might be differences. For instance, like a pickup, the windings might be ever so slightly somehow different. So instead of having everything ready, I had one set of hardware and components to put together one guitar fully. Of course, because there's a 6 in line and a 3 and 3 headstock, I had 2 sets of tuners, but they're still the same tuners. But there was no way to get around that. So I had one set of pickups that I put into each of the guitars in turn. So once I did the demo for the guitar, I ripped them out, put them into the next guitar. Same thing with the electronics. They were exact same pots, exact same soldering, exact same switch, exact same jack and everything. Took those out of one guitar after the demo, put them into the next one. Even the brass nut that I had, I took off each guitar after the demo and put it into the next one, just to minimize any sort of changes that aren't wood related. Of course, the annoying thing is that as much as I wanted to do that, one of the guitars caused a little bit of a hiccup, which meant that the demo of the last guitar was done the following day instead of everything in the same day. So I kind of was playing a little bit differently. Oh yeah, must also be said that the setups on all the guitars was the same. Same bridge, same setup, same pickup height, same string height, action, intonation, everything checked the same way. So I'm really looking forward to how, well, looking forward to the results, if there is any difference in you know, the tones, considering that the only thing that really changed about the guitars was the wood combinations, and mostly like the body and tops of the wood of the guitars. Those were pretty much the big changes. And then if there is a drastic change between 3 guitars that were finished in oil compared to 1 guitar that was clear coated in acrylic lacquer, and has a resin river in the middle of it. So very interesting to find out. And whether a shape like double cutaway vibrates more than a single cut model, stuff like this. But yeah, all of them had pretty much similar spec. Scale lengths are the same strings, like literally the exact same strings. I didn't cut off the ends, so I used the same strings, but you get the point. Tried to minimize any sort of difference between each instrument. To be fairly honest, I'm not really sure what to kind of be talking about here, because there's not much going on in the past month. Like, to be honest, it's just been trying to get back to everything. And that's only happening now in August, where everything's kind of starting to pick back up. I'm going to be working on the bass. I'm going to be working on the 8 string, the thin line. These 2 guitars. I'll talk about those two. Sorry, I'll be talking about those 2 guitars at the appropriate time. Now's not the appropriate time yet. Gonna be doing the final touches on this one. So the Relict Telly, essentially it just needs the neck pocket to be routed a bit deeper, a little bit of route on the pick guard, and then straighten the bridge, putting in a new pickup that actually works. And yeah, then there's going to be a really cool video coming out about this. That video is also going to be live streamed, but once that time comes, we'll figure that stuff out. That's going to be something that I'm going to be working on with my good friend Al, Ionic Echo, who you've already seen in some IP videos. And if Al happens to watch this, I'm going to talk to you about the details later. So yeah. Now, one very important thing that is currently happening still is the IP Guitars Summer Sale, where you'll get 20% off
stock instruments. Yes, summer is pretty much coming to a close, but I'm going to keep it going up until the end of August. So you can snag this lovely, lovely Icarus Bubinga top guitar. It's going to be one of a kind because it is one of the production prototypes, but you can snag this puppy up for 20% off at the website. So I'll actually post it in the chat so you can have easy access. So 20% off at ipguitars.com/shop. IP Guitars summer sale for 20% off all stock instruments. Now, what that means is that 20% off this Icarus will come with a hard case and certificate of authenticity. Likewise, 20% off on the 10th anniversary guitar. I'll give you a close-up of this as well. So, if you're not familiar with this, hand engraved detailing, very light, thin acrylic finish. So hard wearing, but thin because I want the wood pour still to be somewhat visible. 3-piece maple neck, mahogany body, flamed birch top and back with flame birch back cavities and headstock plate, corian nut, ebony fretboard with a mother of pearl and abalone inlay, flame birch binding, bare knuckle polymath pickups in aged nickel, volume, tone, coil split for the bridge and the neck separately, 3-way toggle switch, Schaller strap locks, Schaller Da Vinci aged copper tuners, Schaller aged copper tune-o-matic style bridge, string through body, and plays like a dream, sounds amazing. For yours, 20% off. And then there is a pre-order. So while this guitar does look like it is completely finished up, it still requires the final, I'm looking at that camera even though this one is on, still requires the final finishing. So the production dataless prototype, as mentioned before, ash body, spalted flamed birch and resin top that you can see through once this gets fully finished, a Granger hardtail bridge, Seymour Duncan hot rodded pickups, push pull, coil splitting, three-way toggle, tone, ebony fretboard, birch binding, 3-piece walnut neck, and you can pre-order this. It will also come with a hard case, and yeah, finished in an acrylic, but I might actually do with a polyurethane high gloss finish. But yeah, that one still requires a little bit of work, so that's why it's for pre-order for anybody interested. Don't miss out on good deals. Big Kahuna, hey, that is an amazing looking instrument, the Icarus. Yeah, dude, like honestly, this is out of the 4 guitars, this is my second favorite. I mean, it looks, and originally this had black hardware, but I mean, come on, Bubinga and gold, you just can't go wrong. mean, look at that. I'm so happy with this, and it plays like a dream, and it sounds killer. If you haven't heard, go listen to the Just the Tones demo of this one. You can find it on the channel, and hear someone who actually knows how to play the guitar play this a little better than I do. But yeah. I would say that that one also has a sort of, not a thin, not like a Ibanez Wizard thin neck, but it has a thinner, like sort of modern C carve neck to it. Let's see, what else? Yeah, videos are coming out. Videos are going nicely, moving forward. I'm gonna be filming more stuff coming up. It's nice to actually kind of get into things, because I realized I was kind of stuck in a rut with a lot of videos and stuff like that a little while ago, where things weren't really progressing or going the way I would want them to. I think I need to change the camera angle a bit. Yeah. So yeah, like, sure, the videos that I put out, they did fairly okay, but they could be better. How long does it take you to build one, and what's usual shipping cost to US? So, usually what I would say, it really depends on it depends on all the spec of your run-of-the-mill guitar. But let's say that you're just gonna have pretty basic guitar. I'll say 3 months, but currently, with everything in the pipeline, 6 months, and I will start opening up build slots for 2024 in September, I believe. But about 6 months, because I do need to remind you that this is not my day job. So I work a day job, and then whatever time I have left, you know, their family and band and just everything else, and then weekends and weeknights I'll do some guitar building stuff. But yeah, things have been going slow now, but things are starting to pick up, which is nice. I don't have any deadlines for the year. I finished all the deadlines for the year, which is really nice, and it's helping me kind of like get back into things. Even the last 3 instruments that I've built, no footage has been filmed of those instruments. And even the Gore over bass that I'm working on currently, there's no footage filmed for that. And it's been kind of nice just to focus on building instead of having to figure out camera angles and stuff like that. There are at least 3, maybe 4 other builds that I'm now going to be working on that are going to be filmed. So getting as much footage edited and out of the way as possible at this point is a big bonus. So that's why getting like the huge ordeal of building 4 guitars at the same time, that video, that entire thing, it's nice to get that out of the way so I can actually work on other stuff now. Also, thank you for your guidance and help on painting questions I've asked. No, like seriously, thank you so much for actually showing interest, watching the videos, and asking good questions. While things have slowed down quite a bit where it comes to where I started off with my entire YouTube career, was teaching people how to do stuff at home. And that's what I love to do. And that's what I kind of want to get back into doing, is doing the sort of like educational videos on how to do stuff at home. So whenever I get comments on older videos of like yourself asking good questions about how to do this or that and what I would suggest, or just in general, if there's something on your mind when it comes to, for instance, in this case, painting, I am more than happy to help and love to hear back how things have gone, and if there's anything that went well, if there's anything you can kind of still have questions about, I love to help out. And that's kind of one thing that's been missing the last couple of years. I haven't had time to make the educational videos. Also, kind of, I've done similar things over and over again, so it's kind of, I want to think of something new. So yeah, gonna be coming up. I want to build a nice, like, Luthery school do-it-yourself from home type video series, which I'm sure there's so many of those out there, but I want to do it from my point of view. But that requires extensive work and a lot of hours to put into that, and a lot of preparation. So maybe at some point I'll have the time to do that. But for the time being, it's just going to be, I've been on YouTube with this channel for 11 years now. So I think it's okay for me to finally start making videos that I want to make for at least for a year. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the year. I'm going to be making the videos that I want to be making. And hopefully you'll join in on the ride. I realized I made one very critical mistake. I don't have any water, so my mouth is drying up like crazy. Yeah, I'm just gonna close that out, and I need to go and cheat. I need to go have a look at pictures taken in the past month. In the month of July, what have I been doing when it comes to this stuff? Let's see. Let's have a look here. Yeah. So getting the base kind of sorted. That was in July. Then went to Riga for a holiday. That was pleasant. That was very nice. And then it's just been at the cabin. So yeah, I actually haven't done too much. Then a bunch of band stuff, honestly. Yeah, Bloodblind is having the first show of the year. We didn't have any shows last year, so now it's really nice to get back up on the stage in a week's time on Wednesday, so on the 9th. I know I'm the only one here, but I'm excited to see your future, brother. I'll be here for the journey. Like, seriously, thank you so much. And if I'm completely honest, I was fully expecting that because there was very minimal prep time for this live stream. I was fully expecting that nobody shows up and I'm just talking to myself, and you'll have a VOD to watch later. But thank you very much for joining the live stream, and I really, really do appreciate it. That's also like one of the things that I miss about making more content more consistently. That's the one thing that I miss, is talking more to viewers. And because, well, you're the reason why I do this. I would have easily shut down the YouTube channel ages ago, but I love making content, and B, I love the little sort of tiny, tight-knit community that I have on YouTube. It's really cool whenever, like, I start recognizing more and more names from several comments, and it always puts a smile on my face. And you guys are awesome. Like, seriously, all of you, all 4,237 of you, you're awesome. Which is really funny because I think it has to be today that I looked at it, but yeah. So 3 years ago to the day, when I did a monthly update sort of thing, sorry, that camera. My face. Come on. I won't show it. But 3 years ago, I had a monthly update, and the update was all about celebrating 800 subs. So 3 years ago, this channel had just surpassed 800, and now we're at like this number. It's crazy. Like seriously, like it really is. It's completely insane. And I appreciate every single subscriber that I have and every single view that I get on any videos. And yeah, kind of keeps me going. There was a little moment there when I was feeling a little envious of people getting more views and stuff like that, but it's not about that. It really isn't. Not for me. I'm not in it to be a world famous YouTuber. If that comes as a sort of secondary thing, then I'm all for it. But I'm perfectly happy with making the sort of content that I make and having people watch any of it, to be honest. But yeah, this is probably going to be rather short because I did ask. I usually tend to ask people on Instagram to send in questions for the stream. And while I have had over 100 people actually see the Instagram story of, sending your questions, nobody's actually sending any questions this time around. So I had nothing to answer. But that's just the way it goes sometimes. And yeah. Yeah. It's a pity that there's not that much more to talk about today. But I know you've made Rattlecam videos. What about DIY video with a cheaper spray gun for beginners? That's something that I want to do immediately when I actually get a spray gun. Now that I have access to a sort of spray booth. Okay, so let's go back a little bit. Trying to think of how I would approach this. Because, okay, while I do offer sprayed finishes, I currently do not possess a spray gun. I will get a spray gun because it's good to have one and I'll get better finishes. I will also need a compressor, which will be great because I have had in the corner of the room since 2018, I have had a vacuum press kit that I am going to do a video on once I get a compressor, because that's also something that would make stuff like this so much easier. And in general, just like, gluing on tops on any guitars makes things easier to have a vacuum press. But I still haven't unpacked it. I still don't have a compressor. So those are things that I need to get out of the way. Now, when it comes to spraying stuff with a spray gun, I do have access to a spray booth, but I need to talk with the owner to see if we can actually get it more functional than it is in its current form and actually make it a bit more of a clean room. Because right now it is completely covered. Every single aspect of the entire spray booth area, which is basically, it's a plastic tent with a small little outlet for air going out. Small little extraction. So we'd kind of need to build that room into a better spray booth first. And once we get that done, which is going to require a lot of work, a lot of money, we'll see if that can be done. And I think at that point, I would be able to consider doing more spray finishes. Up until that point, I really try to avoid doing spray finishes just because I don't like them as much as oil finishes. But of course, a lot of customers want their guitars sprayed with a clear coat with lacquer. Personal preference stuff. I prefer oils, and I will always kind of like aim to do that as many times as possible. But for the past, let's see, 1, 1, 2, 3. Well, the previous oil finish guitar that I did was the Icarus, and that was in 2021. Ever since then, it's just been spray finishes after spray finishes. Spray finishes. It's fine, but yeah, I want to get a quality setup first, a more professional grade setup to do better grade finishes, because I have the know-how. I've already done that at Crimson, and you know, I built the spray booth there, or the first, not the first iteration, the second iteration of the spray booth I built. Second, third. There was one upstairs that I worked at. The third iteration of a spray booth I built at Crimson, and worked from there. So now I just need to do it back here, back at home. I don't know if you know about Rockler, but they have a nice portable spray tent for about 40 bucks. Yeah, do know about Rockler, and yeah, I do know about the portable spray tent too. Very good shout. That is good to have in the comments there for people interested. But yeah, heard of them. And like, let's see if I can find you a picture of the current setup that I do have access to. Because where would that be? Let's see, what's the last one that I did stuff at? Yeah. There is probably the Maston video, which actually shows that pretty well. Give me a sec while the advertisement roll. But essentially, so there's the room outside, which should be converted to at least a half clean room, because currently it isn't. This is still when it was in good nick, but it's completely covered in like off spray. And yeah, this is what the room looks like. Now, I really must say, disclaimer, that I am so happy to even have this type of room, because stuff that I used to do was just on my balcony over here, which is just not really viable for somebody who needs to do good finishes, because I was dependent on weather and having to move everything out of there or cover everything up and make sure there's good circulation, and then probably pissing off a lot of neighbors, so it wasn't ideal. And that's also why I kind of tried to avoid it. But now having access to a spray booth like this is, it is really nice to have that. But it does need a little bit more work in order to get it to the sort of standard that I would want it to be at. Yeah, covered in a way, but you know, there's always room to improve. And yeah, just need to talk with the owner to kind of see if we can somehow work together to make that into a better spray booth for everybody who uses the workshop. But it's because it's going to be something that everybody kind of benefits from. Even the tables, like this is not the sturdiest table for a lot of work, but it's still so much better than the tables in the spray booth, because you know, if I need to do any scuff sanding on the table when in between like lacquer layers and stuff, it's literally like it wobbles like this. So trying to get like really meticulous, like careful work done is kind of a pain. But I shouldn't complain. I've had much worse setups than that, and I've had to deal with a lot worse. So, you know, always look on the bright side in that regard. Because let's see. There was the There was the one from when I had my internship at Crimson. Let's see. Lacquering. Yeah, because the original spray booth at Crimson was just, you know, built in the attic, so to speak, and there was little in the way of ventilation and extraction and stuff, and it was very dusty, but still got, you know, still got fairly okay finishes out of there. Like these two guitars, they turned out fine. Where's the finished product? Did we get it? I think we got it done for. No, was it done for the? Yeah, we got it finished for the Yandel's woodworking show. No, it was for the next show that we did. Because we had two shows like kind of back to back. I can't remember. But hey, here's the bass that inspired the Icarus. So this was the first bass that I built. It's kind of like in between a Precision and a Stingray. And yeah, this was a lot of fun. And to me, this, like, the pickups are flipped from what they usually are. And this makes a lot more sense to me because you want you want a little more bass end on the treble strings and a little more treble on the bass strings. And yeah, and it's unfortunate. Originally the customer wanted the jack to be on the top here, but I messed up and I accidentally put it on the side. So I already got first-hand experience of drilling a hole wrong in a customer order and then calling the customer and being like, hey, is this, you know, we did this, is this going to be fine? He was completely fine with it. He was just like, okay, yeah, no worries. But yeah, that was kind of, it was stressful to do that call. But to be fair, my first day at Crimson, Ben literally hands me the copper top guitar and it's like, okay, hey, you know, this is a $4,000 guitar. Don't screw it up. So starting from that and going to anything else was kind of, didn't seem like that big a deal. You already gave me a $4,000 guitar that I wasn't, you know, I was scared to touch to begin with. But yeah. Anywho, I've been blabbering for long. For a stream that actually didn't really have that much content in it, but man, does it feel great to just, you know, do this again. I've definitely regained a lot of energy and I feel a lot more motivated toward making stuff and continuing with things. So the outlook looks promising. So hey, I'm gonna go. Need to go make dinner. But thank you very much for watching, and I will be back with another stream at the latest. I'll be back with another stream at the end of August. There might be one in between. Don't know yet. Depends on how, you know, schedules line up and stuff like that. But more videos are to come. Lots of good things in store. Probably gonna have the build video of the 4 prototypes coming out next or soon, and the whole tone wood debate, tone wood test, the forbidden subject on YouTube that will spark a lot of debate, and I will get so much hate for that video, but I don't care. I want to make that video, and we'll see.